What's up with it, Hood News peeps? We're out here. We're going to talk to ESPN. We're going to be on the radio, friends. Go check it out.
I got to go to the back. Watch yourself.
Here, guys.
We need traction somehow.
Hour 2, the Paul Gallant Show. We are live at Air Team Heating and Cooling. Come on out. We got a fantastic cause for you here. Bring some donations out. I'm sitting out on the front, is this the driveway? I'm hanging out with Grizzy of Grizzy's Hood News. Grizzy, what's going on?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
That's great.
Did you know that I'm from the hood?
What?
Yeah.
What hood do you
I'm
represent?
from the hood of H-Town.
Okay.
Hanover, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Awesome.
sometimes you have to drive more than a mile to find a Dunkin' Donuts. You know, it's tough
yeah.
life. It's
Yeah.
tough life. You've got a fascinating account online.
Thank you, thank you.
I went through it. I very much enjoyed some of the absolute bleep shows that I have seen you bringing. So for those who don't know, explain what you do.
Like I just called myself a hood reporter one day. I don't know. I just like improv it. Like it started off with comedy, and the next thing you know, it turned into real reporting, like actual reporting for. I guess there was a need at the time to tell the stories as they really are, and not with an agenda.
Right, or through the lens of some person like myself who's like going into this place. I don't know what the hell's going on here, or something like that.
Right on.
So, was there a first story that you happened across that you were like, what the hell is going on here, that you decided to bring out the phone and just start recording?
Well, it started just comedy, interviewing naked people walking down the street.
Oh.
Like, hey, what are you doing out here? Like, what's the story
Fun
on
times.
that? Yeah. Then I realized that there was an actual mental health, crisis kind of situation. I became more aware. But the one story that really stood out was a SWAT standoff at a Family Dollar off a Homestead Road. And that was it. Like the SWAT, like I took in the energy of the cops, SWAT showing up, hostage situation, people, the bandits crawling out the top of the roof and flying off the side, getting away and stuff. It was just really, really crazy. So I got a taste for that. I'm like, man, this is crazy. So, I kind of started, following some of the things happening in the city. And then the followers, they started helping with footage and things that we probably wouldn't catch. So it just became really cool page.
I saw a couple the other day. Now, to stick to sports, I guess, a little bit. I saw some Dynamo fan who was getting into it with somebody else at what seemed to be some sort of rally parade. He was getting pissed off that someone was getting in the way of his selfie. Selfies are killing everybody these days.
Yeah, that was wild. I didn't know that soccer folks are so passionate.
Oh.
It gets crazy. And don't let it be international soccer. Oh man, they go wild.
Oh yeah, they light flares and stuff. But that happened in the United States. We were talking about that earlier in the show. So LAFC, when they played the Dynamo, a bunch of people came into the stands and they just lit flares on. and that's normal in Europe and stuff like that. But here, that's generally frowned upon. So what brought you out today here for the holiday drive?
Oh, we're doing a holiday drive. Foster, adoption. Those kids need more support. They already got it tough as it is, and it's a lot of times these kids are overlooked. Like when we have missing people, missing kids that are in the system and they go missing, a lot of times nobody's really looking for them. Right. So this one hits home a lot, and we want to be supportive of the kids that have it hard because they don't have a family base. And it's not the same, being in adoption or being in foster care. So we're going to show love to the kids.
No, that's awesome, because you ain't kidding. It's got to be absolutely brutal to be going through that, to be moved from one home to another or something like that. So this is a really awesome cause. And we're going to be out here all day at Air Team Heating and Cooling. So come on out. And is this an annual thing that you do?
I do toy drives. This is the first time I team up with a bunch of partners like yourselves and Brand Nation and everybody else that's in this endeavor. So it's the first time that last year I was doing it, raising the funds myself, and then I had followers help out here and there. But it's really good and less stressful to be partnered with different entities.
Yeah, I can imagine on that front. I did have a story that I wanted to bring to the table, because I like to find weird stories. We're supposed to be a sports show, but I have ADD and I just ramble off and go in all sorts of different directions.
Okay.
So there was a woman who went into a Chipotle and she got pissed off at the people behind the counter. So she threw a bowl at the people behind the counter. And here's what's interesting. the judge decided, okay, you can do one of two things, and there's a pretty obvious choice when these two choices were given. You can spend 30 days in jail, or you can work at a Chipotle grill for 90 days.
Wow.
Do you think this is the kind of justice that we need going forward?
Maybe so. You know, I think it's kind of good because these days, anyways, there's a lot of slap on the wrist. Maybe something like that.
I like the idea of working in service. Like,
yeah.
Working in service is miserable. Have you ever worked at a service?
Yeah, and I'll never do it again. I promise. Hey, shout out to all the workers out there that have to deal with situations like this. Ungrateful customers and just all kinds of panic attacks at the drive-thru. No. Yeah, much respect to people that, you know, are in the food industry, definitely. They deal with a lot.
They do. So the first one I ever worked at was a place in St. Petersburg, Florida. It was a Greek restaurant. And I remember that the people that I was working with, they were on work release from jail. They were great people. They were all trying to make the most of the second half of their lives. So sometimes you'd have an annoying customer, but we had a terrible boss. This guy had like Tourette syndrome and stuff.
Ooh.
And he would constantly yell at everybody that was working there. And one day, one of the guys who was, you know, working because he was so fed up with it, he ended up slapping him.
Wow.
And the boss ended up getting fired while getting slapped at the same time.
Jeez.
Felt like it was justice.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy. You know, and speaking of hood moments, the Texans games.
Yeah.
The Texans games. I don't release a lot of that stuff because of censorship. But a lot.
There's been some fights going on this year,
Man,
right?
they get rowdy. The Texans fans, man, they get rowdy.
You throw a few back, it happens.
Yeah.
Is it not so? What's
tailgate fights, man? They're interesting to watch. Yeah, there's been a few.
Last year, a tailgate.
Yeah, last year I went to Facebook jail because there was an awesome craziness. You know, it was really wild. I say awesome, but it was like just really wild, man. The whole family was fighting a whole other family. Chairs were getting tossed around.
Like Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, Game of Thrones. Yes.
Wow. So this is happening regularly, I'm assuming. How about Astros games? Is this happening there too?
Oh yeah. What was it? The Texas Rangers? Yeah, there's been a few Astros games.
Someone I actually know was a part of a fight where he was sitting down, and I have no idea what was said before. And you know that generally when these things escalate to the point where there's actual violence, that somebody said something that they shouldn't have. But this person just sat down, and the guy who's in front of him stands up, turns around, and starts punching him. And the guy I know did not punch back at all. He just kept on taking it. Boom. And even more impressively, he didn't fall somehow. I have no idea how that didn't happen. But your websites, or excuse me, all of your accounts, you've got tons of followers on it, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter as well. How can the people find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Grizzly's Hood News. Don't put an L in my name. There is absolutely no L. Let me say that real quick because I get called Grizzly, Griswold, all kinds of stuff. Greasy. It's Grizzy, Grizzys. Hood News on Facebook. It's the same all across the board. So definitely.
What's Grizzy short for?
Griselda.
Griselda. Okay,
Yeah,
I wasn't
Griselda.
100% sure because I also saw that at first. And I was like, wait, is this a typo? Am I about to talk to like Grizzly?
I've been Grizzy since the 3rd grade. The kids couldn't pronounce my name. I was getting called all kinds of other names that happened with my birth name. So it's been Grizzy since.
Nice nickname.
Yeah, thanks.
I like it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well, make sure you catch all of her work. Again, it's Grizzy's Hood News. And come on out here to Air Team Heating and Cooling. We're going to be out here all day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, it's the Paul DeLon Show. Stick around. ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. All right, Cole, we're clear.
That was so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You're so great. Thank you.
You're
Thank
better.
you.
Thank
Hey,
you so
he's
much.
good. He's good, man.
See you guys.
Yeah, tell us what radio station, ESPN, for those asking right now.
ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. We have a show podcast. We're on YouTube and all that stuff. But yeah, we appreciate being a part of this feed, which is an awesome feed. I got lost on it this morning. It was great.
Awesome. And where can they find you if they want to follow you too?
Accolon Says on pretty much everything. And it's GALLANT. And yeah, you want to see more of my pastiness. It's all over the place.
I like his humor. You're so funny. Thank you. All right, friends. I'll see y'all later. Go Brand Nation. Yes.